Let me tell you why I'm firing everybody. All right. Number one, this is my hotel. I done walked up in here. I'm regular. That's why I love Undercover Boss. Undercover Boss, that's why I have no problem counseling businesses and stuff like that. Because if you are not undercover bossing your own business, you deserve everything. Because why are you not paying attention? You pay attention to your house. This your money. And when it's your money, you should be up on it. Now, if somebody was in your house trying to steal your mate or your kids, you be checking in on that house every time you could. Why are you not checking in on your business? I don't care if you have 1 location, 2 locations, 3 locations, franchises, whatever, corporate. You are now on the stock market. You need to randomly check in. Okay? First and foremost, everybody has done something customer service wise. That's number one. Don't go so far up on the totem pole that you lose who your prime base is. I don't care if you're manufacturing steel. I don't care if you're working at McDonald's. You need people to buy the steel or you need people to eat the food. Customer care should be number one. That goes back to humanity. That goes back to how you treating people in life. Because if you acting like this at work, you are acting like this on the street. Now, looking at this little black CEO books a room in his own hotel and the representative makes a grave mistake. It is nothing but the representatives forgetting that people is who keeps them in their job. And I'm glad he's a CEO that understands that in marketing and business, you got to know what the product is. Is it human capital? Is it tangible goods? Is it philosophical thoughts? Is it ideas? What is the capital? Where is the money coming from? What is your purpose? Once you figure this out, you figure out where you need to be pulling it from. Once you figure out where it needs to be pulling from, if it has anything to do with humanity, which most things are, because that's why we create these businesses, these orgs and so forth, either to help humanity or to take from humanity, i.e., I want you to pay me. Either way, you are in one of those scales. Once you figure out what that is, you need to focus on how to maintain it. So watching your house. Undercover Boss taught everyone years ago that everything you think you've been doing, once you go too far up, you become disconnected. You know, and you put leadership in place, hoping that they will put leadership in place, praying that they will put leadership in place that is going to be great for your business or organization to do what the purpose is or to make the money. Either way, that's still what is the purpose and the function of what you got going on. So I don't give business owners and organizational leaders no reprieve when it comes to the spit and hellfire I give them. Because that just means you don't care. And if you don't care, then you evil and I need to go ahead and speak up on you. Okay? Petersburg, prime example. Sit me down because they know if I was around when these people was acting up, the mayor fighting in the parking lot. I know you lying. I know you lying. Give me his title. I know you lying. Pressing citizens. I know you done lost your mind. You didn't forgot that you grew up here. I thought you did. You didn't forgot that you went to school here. I thought you did. That suit getting too tight around you. You forgot that everybody loved you because you got a crazy con man standing next to you. Faking the funk in a preacher's robe. No daggone well that he don't have a preacher's soul. He don't even like to speak nice. He felt hurt that he did that somebody else was rooting for somebody that wasn't him. Yet he still won. I ain't never seen nobody win and still cry. That's why they didn't want me around here this last year. But this mess right here goes straight to that. You don't care. You know, and I fire everybody up in here if I was this CEO. Because she's at the lower end of the total bowl. It start with the head. Because somebody letting it go on. And see how he went down there and talked to that manager? And what did that manager do? Act the same way. So you letting this lady do this. See, and that's the problem I have with the city. We can fuss with the little people all day, but who been heading this thing for years? At some point, you got to realize either you done got too stagnant as a leader, or you got other aspirations, or the joy is gone, and step on down and step away. And stop sitting here helping breed nonsense. Because can't nobody worth nothing get in these positions. Because y'all just holding on to stuff. Holding on to stuff. That you ain't really sitting, ain't look like, every time I turn around, we want to tote some magical cure that we want the whole city to get after so we can go ahead and be something amazing. When it's as simple as caring about your city. You care so much, care about the ward you a part of. It don't make no sense in my own ward. There's now a junkyard at the corner. But you the vice mayor? Make it make sense. You used to ride up and down Credit Road and it looked like something. But the man, the vice mayor, run this area. And if you ain't downtown, you don't look like nothing. If you ain't in Eastern Walnut Hill, you don't look like nothing. Camelot, Battlefield, you don't look like nothing. And it's sad that the rest of us got to go through this because the leadership forgot who they come from. And sometimes you got to get down in the gutter to find out where you rose from, to see how ain't nothing changed. And maybe you need to come off that pedestal and get down here and help somebody do something. Everybody shouldn't have to chase a title to get your attention. And literally that's what this is. This little Miss Kim, because this regular black man in regular clothes came to her and didn't look like he had an entourage and everything else, she wanted to be nasty. Oh, but the manager knew. The manager knew because he knew the face. And that's why, you got to be careful with the people that you put in charge that hire other people. Because, yeah, they know you, but the other people don't. And that's when you know if you got good people on your team or not. You better stop working while I'm right here. That's when you know. Because if I hired you and you tricked me, because I'm moving around and I'm doing everything. That's what I get caught up in. I do too much. I move around. I put people in positions. They do stuff to me, hurt my heart. I'm the worst person ever. And then here we go. They put other people in position. I got to deal with them and then other people. See, cut that joke off at the head. If I got to cut my legs off so they can regrow, like Deadpool, I'm fine with it. Because that means I'm staying true to my cause, which is helping humanity. Okay? Greed, poverty, all of that will make a human being lose their path and lose their way. It'll also be the one thing that will guide us to you by people of the light. I can find you in greed and poverty. Because in poverty, I'm trying to help you because I know wherewith your pain comes from. Your actions aren't really of your heart. They're of your circumstances. And if I can help change your circumstances, then I can help change your heart. But that greed factor, see, you the devil. Most of the time, the greed people is the people that ain't never had. Not never had, the people that always have. And you want more, and you want more, and you want more. So you take and take and take. But if you walk with what God say, it'll be given to you. You will have more than you've ever wanted. And greater than you actually need. Without even asking. So as you pour out more, it comes back to you 3 times fold. But greed people don't get to come back 3 times fold. They get the 1 time fold. So they're going to keep taking and taking and taking and taking. And it starts at the itty bitty level. And this is why a good undercover boss is doing what he's supposed to. Yeah, I thought I put good people in. I trust them. I trusted they put good people in. But I'm going to keep looking. Because you keep going so far up. If you run a whole company of 5-star hotels across 3 different continents, listen, you are so disconnected from the hotel clerk. Ain't no way. But if you are diligent and involved CEO and owner, you won't just trust what the people tell you. You'll find out for yourself. And sometimes you don't even have to leave your room just to go online and see what a Google review says before you get a scandal on the internet. Most people don't look to the Google reviews, then mess around and gave you a scandal. But we can go back years, months, and see that it's been brewing. People have been saying things. As a good CEO, a good leader, why are you not going back and checking? Why are you not in your community finding out what people are saying about your group, going out here and helping? Are they actually helping or are they taking? Are they abusing? The same policies that are enacted in these companies that we work for, the HR policies that they pay us so we adhere to, how about you do some real human resource policies for the street, for regular life? Go back and check. I want to see what he about to do. We about to finish watching this. Because I hope he fire everybody to include Steven. Because Steven was in the building. Steven, you are the manager. You are the manager of this hotel. You are in the building. That's like the mayor of Petersburg. You are the manager of this thing. You in the building. The receptionist is nasty. The receptionist is around here costing y'all money. The receptionist and the hotel booker that greets everybody when they come in is a problem. People don't want to stay. When they stay in, they fussing. They causing issues for your hotel. This your hotel you run. And you clueless? So you part of the problem. Everybody got to go. Petersburg, the mayor of Petersburg, you run Petersburg. There are council people in place that are over certain areas, just like the hotel, front desk, hospitality, maintenance, everybody. Everybody's over a certain area. You not managing your areas. Ain't no way. Can't be. Why does my city look like this? It's no way. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, if we get $100,000, we can at least get the city grass cut. If we get another $100,000, can we get the lights working all up and down the street? If we get another $100,000, can we get some volunteers just to go around and site all the houses and everything that we could go out here and fix? Can we get another $100,000 so we can go ahead and do the proper paperwork to get all these people that own property and don't live in Petersburg, letting it go? Can we get proper paperwork so we can go ahead and start the legal proceedings? But in the meantime, it's still our city. Can we get another $50,000 to pay some volunteers to at least make these places look presentable? Think outside the box. This is your hotel. We want people to come here. We keep building things around stuff. It's like filet mignon on a trash can lid. Yes, we the jewel. We are a melting pot of wonderfulness. We don't identify as Republican or Democrat, even though we have those people here. We recognize that the city as a whole is just one lovely melting pot. So why does our leadership continuously do dumb stuff? I don't care if it's all white or all black or one on both. It seems like both sets we've had for long periods of time. And here we go. So don't nobody care. But the lowest citizens trying to live. Can't pay bills now. I got bills backed all the way up because all of a sudden 1 month is $400, $400. Now this year is $75. Make it make sense. I don't know why you thought I had $400 for water, trash, and sewage anyway. I don't know why you didn't know that was something wrong anyway. And now I know you found out because my new bill is coming in at $75. Don't worry, I'm going to pay it because now y'all got it straight. But you know how frustrating that is? How about the people that paid overdue water bills, that we've been paying overbilled water bills for almost a decade because we can't get the system right? How about when I was in the building and I told y'all the whole computer system was messed up and you need a whole revamp, and IT told me they've been trying to get y'all doing that, and the regular working class people of Petersburg been telling y'all there's a problem with dealing with us and the infrastructure and the things that need to be done to make us great, but y'all stay in the best cut suits sitting up on council. You stay showing up looking real nice. Everybody got health problems. And we wonder why some of us have health problems. Mine is because y'all stressing me out. Y'all have taken me into MS, mania, ADHD, autism. I have it all now because of y'all. And then they say, why won't you run? Because y'all trying to kill me. I will talk from a microphone before I think about running right now for anything dealing with this government. Why? Because y'all trying to kill me. I know when I'm the crazy person in the room. I know it. And that's why I have no problem being the crazy person in the room. Because the crazy person in the room sees the otherness that y'all are doing. Because all of y'all weird in the room, so it looks right to y'all. But here go a normal being coming in the room, and all of a sudden she crazy. Yes, I'm crazy. Because that stuff is ill. It's like being invited to a Diddy party allegedly, and then you go up in there thinking you normal, and some crazy stuff is popping off to you, and they looking at you like this normal. Why you being weird? And you're looking at them like, why you being weird? Like, you got to understand what role you play in the society, and I just got to be the crazy one. I don't care in this good 2025. Y'all have had the polite Brandy for a lot of years, and y'all ran her down to my own ward representative, almost making me go in tears. The first ever ward meeting I ever went to, and the reason I got involved in city politics. You can blame the man. If you didn't want to hear my mouth now, blame it on him. For that meeting, he not only told one lady, I want to talk to the people and that's from my ward. You not from my ward. And she had to say, yes, I am. Let me know you don't know your ward. That was a red flag. Number two, I went to him and said right in the middle of the meeting before he knew my name. Went to that man and said, hey, the young people like me that are coming back into the city use social media. I just happened to find out about this because of one lowly sign was placed in a random place. How about we get our people involved? This man said, yeah, none of my people really do that. I'll get back to you. Never heard from that man again, but he knew my name. Every time I saw him after that, he gave me the nastiest look. Ran into that man in Target with my son when my son was in Kappa League. That man looked at me, didn't say a word, automatically started speaking to my underage son at the time and ignored me. And then I found out he was a reverend. I was through. And this is how that went. 1, 2, 3. What'd I tell you? You give me once, twice, but not thrice. When God gave me thrice and said, and I want to throw a joke in your ear, he preached. I died. So when God came to me and said, now you see why you a messenger? I said, I understand. But how did we let this go on so long? You know, I got you, God. Now, that's a psychological thing for me. I wanted to see how he was going to make that move. And when I just figured out in that she still didn't know who he was, right? So in my head, I was like, I would want her to know who I am. But the psychological move with that by her not knowing is implications for the future is she won't ever know that you really, it was the hotel manager. Some by chance, this man actually cared about his business. He came down, did the undercover boss thing, and boom, So if she knew that, then it could split. It's a choice, left or right. She can go, all right, that's the universe and God telling me I need to change my life. Let me be nicer. Let me work on my internal. Because something has you feeling hateful. You weren't born hateful unless you're a little Michael Myers. But something has you like that. So you need to go all the way back to how you were taught. That's that childhood, that shadow work, unpacking generational trauma and so forth. Something does that. But in that instance, if you don't go right and you go left, because that was the business owner that came down, you could look at it like that was a one-time thing. When's that's going to happen again? I'm not changing who I am, and you will still be the hateful person. So that's the pause in that decision to not know. The decision to know automatically throws you into a complete other world. By telling her she still has a decision to go left or right, and ultimately, now that I talk it through and think about it, it could still be the same outcome. It could be so detrimental that you're so shocked that it's an African-American male that's running this business and you got caught. And that'll make you humble yourself because the white privilege says that you're supposed to be higher than anything of color, right? That's what white privilege says. So it could make you humble yourself to know that you had the clerk at the counter, baby girl. And maybe it ain't about color and you need to change your attitude and your work ethic. So that's the psychological, as a leader, understanding the decisions of other leaders so that you can grow from it, know from it, and make decisions from it. You should iron sharpens iron. I may not be in this situation right now, but it may happen in the future. And this is why my friend is coming to me talking about it. If it happens to me in the future, it's idiotic for me to make the same mistakes after I've gotten a precursor. It's like filling your gray areas. I feel like the universe and God to show you your gray areas. Everything's not always black and white. There are holes in there, or blind spots, or as they say, fine prints. And you have to fill in that whole area. Sometimes the universe lets you know that it's an area to be filled by other people's circumstances, other things they might cross your path, and so forth, so that if it happens, when and if it happens to you in the future, you're not blindsided. but you are responsible for not being prepared for it because you were pre-warned. So why are you not prepared? I believe in the World War Z philosophy of the fifth man or the 13th man. I forgot which one it is. And it says everybody chooses one thing, or the majority is this one thing. It's up to the fifth man or the 13th man. I can't remember, to automatically say the opposite, because even you have to prepare for if it's not what you preparing for or what you believe or what the numbers should be. You have to be prepared for if you don't make quarterly results, if you don't achieve service hours, if you don't hit that metric. What is the response? I call it the ABC plan. You know, you should never be caught out like if something's happened. Well, what if we can't pull all this off? Well, we don't worry about it. We're going to think positive. Yes, think positive, but be prepared. Be positively prepared, okay? Because if you're not positively prepared, even though you're thinking positive, you fall into the God covers babies and fools category. And you got to admit it. And a fool is not a degree. All right? It's just basic life. Fool is not a color. Fool is not an age. Well, yeah, because if you're a baby, we don't count you as a fool. You just out here loving life, and it's all fault. Like anything for anybody under 17. Under 7, I won't even give them 18 because you can't tell an 18-year-old they baby. They lose their mind, even though they still say teen in they whole age. I feel like you a baby until you get 21. And then you should start being able to smoke. 25, then you should drink. But we lowered it because we wanted these babies in the military. So they're in the military drinking and smoking, come back home and can't do it, so they raise the age. Instead of correcting the fact that the baby shouldn't have been doing it in the first place, and maybe we shouldn't have had babies in the military. But with respect for all the families who sent their babies and their babies didn't come home. And that was from a military family mindset and hoping my baby always comes home on his tour duty. And being glad that he did not go under the age of 21, that he was able to go to school, get a degree, get his footing in life, and make a grown man decision about the rest of his life. And that's when I think it should happen, 21. Because he went to college, graduated on time, went to high school, graduated on time, don't have any felonies. He was able to have a solidified relationship with his future fiance, where she was able to graduate on time, and they had a discussion about the future of life. He trained his body. He got his head right. And so now that he's going and he's with 17, 18, 19-year-olds, he's also with 30-year-olds that have done the same thing. He has a good body of mix. He could say, I had fun when I was young, and I'm young still. Mm-hmm. You know? And this is a progressive step I'm making in my secured future. And I've thought about the options. I've thought about the repercussions. I've had the conversations. So that means he's going to be a responsible military man. He's not going to be a young military man that we just wanted because we needed bodies just in case. He's going to be a responsible military man because he knows life in a responsible way without the military. So the military is going to be the icing on his cherry cake. But God weaves these wonderful, and it's crazy how when you study scripture, then you start saying it. Because that one little psalm I had to preach, ever since then, that wonderful tapestry part has stuck with me. And it's funny that I picked that one. Because the way God weaves this life, to me, is so awesome. It starts here at this first little pinprick, this first little needle and thread. And then it goes all the way to the end and you have a beautiful dress or a beautiful suit. But you don't understand how long it took him to curate every single stitch. You're not understanding when you put that coat or dress on how delicate it was to intricately pick every single color. Even sometimes with some of us changing threads. Some of us are made of all of silk. Some of us have silk, cotton. We even have a little velvet in the corner. But all of it are beautiful suits. They're beautiful dresses. But do you know how long it took him to do it by hand? Not in a factory, but by hand. You know what I'm saying? Like in a factory, we can get a machine and you all look alike. You're not even done with love. Hard pieces are putting you together. But when God does it, he takes his delicate little formless hand, because remember, he looks like us when we think about him, but he could take any shape, any form, anywhere. So all I can see is just this mist of white, just delicately sewing every little piece, your personality, even your color of your skin, because white isn't white and black isn't black. That's the USA. That's humanity doing that. And that's our generation, our whole early civilization doing that. There are so many wonderful shades of white. Because when you paint your wall, do you just pick white, or do you do ivory? Do you do cream? Do you do iridescent pearl? Black is not black. Do you see honey? Do you see mocha? Do you see caramel? So, understanding that if you use the philosophy of the colors that NASA chose when they looked at it, because the colors of outer space and the universe are so wide, so vibrant, that there were so many that NASA said, if I'm repeating this documentary right, NASA said we're gonna stay within this prism, and that's what it became. Because if you remember before, and if you've done your history, everything was black and white. The colors were muted. They were muted until we started exploring. And then we went to other countries or other places and saw that they had different color palettes. And then we merged them all together. So you got to think about how every little piece is done so intricately. Personalities, some of us are real aggressive. Some of us are passive aggressive. Some of us are super, super strong. Some of us are delicately weak. This is a nice, slow weave. Custom designer bridesmaids dresses. Custom designer bride dresses. Custom designer groom suits. Could take months if doing it by hand. Adding beading, stitching, delicate fabrics. Think about how long it took God to make you. And if you know that, then you would treat everything and everyone else that he took that time to do as well with the same respect you do yourself. Why? Because if you think that he spent all these hours and this manpower and everything making you and making everything else, that you have a right to talk down on it, to destroy it, to think less of it. Because if you strip it away, everybody is just flesh and bones that's a human on this earth. And that's how he made you. Now, you did with your life what you wanted to do with your life. But how dare you look down on somebody else? How dare you do that? Even to say, as I did it, why couldn't they? Because that wasn't God's plan for them. Maybe God's plan for you was to be able to get it a little faster so you can help those people that don't get it as fast because of maybe some actions that collectively shouldn't have been done. That's why the world can't get on one accord. We've all forgotten that in the universe, within all of this, this is someone greater than. Because if it was a Big Bang Theory and we all appeared, then that's some real magic. And you got to believe in everything else too. Can't say it was the Big Bang and aliens don't exist. It's too many planets. Can't say it was Jesus, Muhammad, and Buddha, and don't believe that there's one central being that's creating all these different versions and these different continents and these different colors. Because what I just say, he's taking his time weaving this. She's taking her time coloring it. I'm telling you, you know how calm you get coloring a coloring book and hours you can get lost? How dare you disrespect what God has made into a giant, functional, beautiful, colorful world? I know that's right. That last part, that's how you run an empire. Once you figure out you have found out that you have problems, you then need to go and fix them. Okay? If you then choose to stand by your problems, you will be fired and canceled yourself by God himself. herself, the universe, and all of the above. Because if you think karma ain't gonna hit you double twice, because if you're not undercover bossing, you're part of the problem. That means you have made too many left turns and you have sided with the devil and whoever else. Your purpose is to disrespect, humiliate, take from, and take down the human race. And we don't have no time for it. Because you'll do it to your own people. I bet you in your house, your family don't mess with you. Some of the richest people in this world that had the most divorces or no marriages, got 50 million kids that don't even like them. But and if we talk about that number one man, you got one special child that you just take everywhere, which you let the world know and your other kids know you don't care about them. So if you don't care about the people, the blood that comes from you, that you are out here preaching that other people will do, you are part of the problem. Completely. Woo! Fire them all. Fire them all. Fire them all. You didn't fix nothing. That's my problem with leadership. How do you not know what's going in? If you run in a city, if you run in a state, if you run in a section of the USA, I don't care. How do you not visit everywhere? I don't care if you're sitting in a Senate seat. You need to visit every city that you over. If you're in a house seat, you need to visit every city that you over. If you are in a local seat, you need to visit every ward, county, block that you're over. Precinct, I don't care that you're over. How do you not visit these people until it's time for you to vote on something that you want them to have your support for what you're doing? You don't care any other time unless it's election season and you want to get this big push, i.e. the casino came to Petersburg and I seen people activate faster and I be pissed because you don't activate that fast for the kids. We got to do a self-expose on Facebook and social media before these people even move. But yet and still, you got money to spend on 50 million flyers. You got money to spend on custom t-shirts and hats. Maybe citizens would like a free Petersburg, Power Petersburg t-shirt. Maybe Togetherness is Us t-shirt. But no, we always got to buy into something when we don't have nothing as it is. Oh, I'll be the crazy one sitting in the corner. Always. Thank you.
Should have cleaned it up before I had to.
Exactly. If I got to come down and clean up my own place and I put people in place, everybody got to go. Because if I got to do the job I'm paying you for, everybody got to go. Really? Woo! Fire them all. Fire them all. Fire them all, Jerome. Fire them all. Woo! That was good. That was good, Facebook.